Hi, this is Mike Holmes here at reachkeep.com with 5 Minutes to Better Sundays. I'm excited about what we're talking about today. We're going to get into some of the nuts and bolt things that some of you have been waiting for. We're going to talk about the mechanics of Easter promotion. I might use the word marketing. Some people kind of shy away from that, but it is just the idea of getting the word out. And if you're going to have a great and awesome Easter, you've got to get the word out at some level. So we're going to go through some of that. So we have on the screen here today, we have some computer stuff that we're going to be doing. I'll give you just a little bit of an outline. And this is going to be two parts here because there's really too much to cover in the 5 minute range that we try to stick into. So we're talking about, first of all, again, this mechanics of Easter promotion. And let me just kind of give it to you right here. We're going to talk about the rules for Easter promotion and what you need to have. The very first one is that your ads must go out early, or your promotion must go out early. This would be stuff within your local church that needs to be promoted. We are presently at about 6 weeks before Easter, and so this is a good time to start to get some of those things out. Let your church people know. They can begin to invite their friends and start to do that. But early is a very, very important thing for you to do. We have a lot of spring breaks, a lot of different things going on in our public schools, and just kind of letting people know that this is a big event for you. Now, this would be within your congregation. You would do this, but this is also, when we get into part two, we're going to talk about the methods of distribution. This would be ads out early into your community and things printed early. And you need to begin to work on those now and get those things done because of the printing deadlines and graphics times to get some of those things done. And this doesn't have to be expensive or fancy. But I tell you what, if you're the first one out, people will remember that. We have already had things out for several weeks, and we want to encourage you to begin now. I'll mention this again at the end, but within 72 hours of you watching this, just make sure you've got some type of idea what you're going to call your Easter service and the times that you're going to have, your services and things for children or any special events that we recommend that you do, and you can find some of those on that Easter handout, that cheat sheet that we have. There's a link to that at the bottom of this video. But your ads must get out early. That is very important. The next thing is they must be unified. In other words, they need to have all the right stuff and they need to look the same. So what you are putting in your church bulletin and what you're putting up, in town, if you're posting things at the grocery stores, and boy, that works very well in smaller communities. What you're putting out on Facebook or putting out in an email, that you use the same basic picture, the same basic kind of idea of how you're promoting that. So if you want to really do some good promotion, you get the stuff out early and you make sure that it's unified. And in the unified thing too, keep this in mind. You want to make sure that you have all the right data on there. You want to put physical address on there so people, of course, can GPS and find your church. So ours is like 400 Lincoln Avenue, Sinclair, Wyoming. You can type that in. You can also put, like what we put, downtown Sinclair, and of course our town is only 423 people, so downtown's pretty easy to find. Lots of times you put like a crossroads, or across from the mall, or next to the subway, or across the railroad tracks, next to the ball field. Those type of descriptions are helpful as well, and so when you're doing your unified ads, make sure you have the proper things. We put out an ad a couple years ago for Easter and didn't have a phone number on it. And I'm so ashamed. We teach this stuff and we help people with these things, and how it happened, I have no idea, but everything got off to the printer. We did some big posters and all that stuff, and there was no way to contact the church. Now, fortunately, we're in a small enough community, and we've been doing this for a while. It's not too hard to know where the church is, but you're going to want to make sure that you have a good address and you have a good way for folks to contact you, preferably website address if you have a website. You can put that on, and phone numbers as well. So make sure they're unified. Use similar graphics throughout everything, and you can go on Google Images and look up some graphics. There are many of those that are just public domain pictures of tulips blooming or whatever, something that signifies, and then you can put your text on it, Easter services at the such and such a church. You can put that on there, and then try to use those same tulips in most of your promotional things, and keep that unified, because that really takes us to the next point, and that is this: they need to be repetitive. Your ads need to be repetitive, and I'll go ahead and put the other word in here too, supportive. They support each other because they're repetitive. So people are going to see these ads in multiple places, and that's what really rings it for them. They're going to maybe catch one in your local newspaper. We'll talk about that. They're going to see one at the grocery store. They're going to get handed a card by a friend, that goes to your church. They're going to maybe pick up a church bulletin they've seen somewhere. And it's going to have the same thing, and it repeats over and over and over. The professionals here say that a person needs to see something like 6 or 7 times before it really sticks in their head. And I think there's a lot of truth to that. People just forget. And remember, the people we're trying to attract for Easter are first-timers, are unchurched people who are thinking about coming to church, or new in the community and haven't found a church. We had some folks came last week that just haven't found a church. I talked to a police officer in our town the other day. I won't tell you why I was talking to the police officer. Actually, my headlight was burned out, and he pulled me over, and I got talking to him. We spent 15 minutes talking, but he knew about the church. He knew where we were at, but he said he was kind of new in the community and had been to a couple different churches, but was kind of looking around. There's lots of people like that. And so we want to get those ads out there and be repetitive with those things. So here's what I really am going to ask you to do is step up into this and take a 72-hour from today, right now, just go, by next Monday or whatever the date is, we're going to have a graphic picked out and our basic times and some of those things, and we're going to get it in our bulletin, we're going to email it out, and we're going to start to get that thing out, the Easter promotion out there. And as you follow these rules, the early, the unified, and the repetitive portion, you will begin to start to see the buzz grow for your Easter services. And I am just hoping so much that you get a bunch of new people to come in. And someone mentioned the other day in a comment, you'll get some of the old people that were there at Easter last year and they only come, once a year. Of course, you'll get a few of those, but those aren't ones we're really looking for. We're looking for new people that are searching for the things of God, have had a crisis in their life in the last year. They've had trauma and trials and tribulations, and they are trying to figure out life. And your bulletin, your little handout card, your email ad, your Facebook ad is going to land on their little vision, and they're going to say, I need to go out there. And then from there, of course, you're going to have to give them the gospel and get them into Bible studies and start to, win them to Christ and disciple them and do those things. We'll leave that up to you. But I really want to talk about the getting ready for Easter, the promotion part, and give you this. So those are our rules there, the mechanics of Easter promotion, part 1. You're going to want to get part 2. It's coming out soon, right after this one. And you can also download that free cheat sheet that we have. The address is right below this video here, and you can find that cheat sheet, and it gives you 6 different ways to new things to kind of really step up your Easter and have an awesome Easter. Those are all found on reachkeep.com, and you can find some of those things. So this is Mike here at reachkeep.com, and God bless you, and boy, we're going to have a great Easter. Stay tuned for part 2. It'll be coming here real soon.